everyone. I'm Mary Sit, and this is Asian Viewpoints. Our guest today has been an artist for more than 50 years, and he still remains relevant today. Wen-ti Tsen is 87 years old, and he's just been approved for a $1 million grant from the city of Boston to build 4 life-size bronze statues in Boston's Chinatown. Wen-ti, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's so great to be with you.
Tell me, how did you get the idea of building these life-size bronze statues in Boston's Chinatown?
Oh, actually, it's been hanging around in my head for, maybe 20 years, 30 years. Actually, started a long time ago when I first came to Boston as a student. And in one of the apartments I have, that was in the 1960s. And there was a Chinese laundry at the bottom of this corner. And I just felt me coming in from China and then this other person that I could not talk to because we're different dialects, and how hard the person worked day and night. That really got me thinking about doing some monument that would celebrate. Of course, it's a total dream because bronze are very expensive.
So how did you get your dream into becoming a reality?
About 5 years ago, there's actually a conference in the Boston Public Library about how to make public art more relevant to the people living in the city. And I have this idea in my head already, and I say, I'll go for it. And I started small. I was thinking of doing a street, street shrine to the workers or something like that in Chinatown.
So you ended up with 4 workers. Tell me about the workers you picked to represent Chinatown.
Well, they're going to be life-size, and I want them to be on the ground so that we can do eye-to-eye relations.
Okay.
And I've been working with different segments of the Chinatown, and it's kind of distilled. You have to reject something. So one of the most important thing that came out of the laundryman, which was limited business for Chinese, since about like 100 years. And then I thought, cook would be like a restaurant worker. But going beyond that, there's the important one of the important workers is the garment workers who came in the 1960s when the immigration opened up. So a lot of Chinese women, when the husband's working in the restaurants, the wife would work in the daytime in the garment factories, especially around Boston. And then I thought beyond that, there's the children that has to be taken care of with both parents working. Right. So there's the grandmother who sometimes was invited from China to live with them. And they would be going around taking care of the school, kids, going to pick them up and things like that. And I thought those are people often don't think of grandparents as workers, but in this case, I think it's very important to recognize that they actually work as much as the other people.
I think it's wonderful that you celebrated the work of someone who worked at home, didn't get paid, but she was still valuable. For that whole family to exist, right, in Chinatown. And also, I think it's great that you did 2 men and 2 women figures, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's
and that was intentional, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. It has to be recognized.
So let me ask you this: when you sculpted this, do you sketch first and then you do the clay model? How does it work? And also, did you use historical photographs, or did you use your imagination or real people?
Yeah, you can see the thing in the back. Actually, it's in many stages. In applying for the grants, at first I built small models about this size. Okay. And it's pretty much the same as what I envisioned. And I also did drawings and took photographs. So in people cutting up a duck in the restaurant. And then from this, actually, the photos in the back are enlargements of the small models to what I would be the intermediate stage of about 3 feet tall figures. So they are enlarged so that they become the same size as what I would like the models to be. They're called maquettes. one thing I wanted to do is to show them has a lot of power inside each figure. And they would be also but they are also not just dreaming about, look, they're not just workers, but they actually have dreams inside them, that they are working for some other purpose, for their life, for their children, for the family, and to make a better life for themselves as well as for the others. So the work is, all the people are not looking at the work, which is not very
Oh,
realistic.
right. I see that. They're looking forward, like a vision,
Yeah,
like into the
exactly. So they
future, right?
relate to the viewer. And the
Right.
viewer also in the eyes, eventually, ultimately will have both two important things. One is you look into their eye, they're seeing you. At the same time, you're looking into their eye and you're seeing what is inside their head to a degree, as much as a sculpture can represent. That is their dream, their past, also where they come from, like in China in the village or something. It's all inside the expression on the face.
Wen-ti, they all look very serious and very focused. No one's really smiling. I mean, and they all look like they're working really, really hard. I mean, were those the kind of things you wanted to convey with the facial expression? Like they were all hard workers trying to make it in this foreign country, right? For them.
Yeah, it's also their stance, their body, muscles and everything. It's the way they're standing. Like there's one on the over here that shows it's the laundryman, and he's at the counter with a pile of laundry given to a shirt. The laundrymen in the 1950s and 60s in America, they're kind of downgraded, as though they were given that job as the last thing that nobody wants to wash people's dirty clothes. So, but I want to show in him that he has all the integrity and all the possibility inside him, looking at the Caucasian, most likely client. But they often, because they cannot speak the language and people are looking down on them, at the same time, they have all the dignities of a person that is inside. So he's putting his hand on the laundry and looking directly at the person and saying, I'm a person, kind of thing.
That's great. So you made sure that their dignity was preserved at each statue, and their self-worth, right? Even though they were probably discriminated against back then.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, how difficult was it to do the eyes? Is that a hard part for you, the eyes of the statue?
I'm a pretty good draftsman, so I've been drawing since I was like in schools. I mean, professionally since I was 18, 19. So I know where each eye. One thing that people don't know about is if you, especially in a painting, if you have eye looking at the into the canvas, no matter where you stand, the eye always follow you. So in these statues too, if I have it focus at a certain point, so you walk, around the corner and still be looking at you. That is the power of art, has that quality that about. That's what it does.
When can we expect to see these statues installed? I understand they're going to be bronzed in New York and transported to Boston. Do you have a date of when it might be installed in Boston?
I hope by the summer of 2024. It should be up. Yeah.
Well, that's worth a trip to Boston to see that. That's
I
phenomenal.
think so. I hope it'll be in that destination point. And once the cars are made, actually they could be recast into other places too. So maybe you'll end up in San Francisco, Chicago, New York.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, and also
and Houston too. Houston's Chinatown.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah, there's a lot of new people, new immigrants. Yeah, I would like to have a big, rock or something with the poems about, the figures about each kind of work in the front, and then in the back will be all the explanations, and those explanations often can change because of people's ideas, understanding becomes different, and also have a QR thing or whatever new development that people have, that people can download oral histories of what a cook is like, or the children of this laundryman is no longer quite viable, like the children of
So
laundrymen.
you would interview real life people who are today who
Right,
talk about their
exactly, yeah.
grandma who was a
Yeah.
cook or their grandfather.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you want the whole unedited story, just the way they sound, the way they talk. If it's long-winded, let it go, whatever they
Yeah,
say.
right, exactly.
Because that's real life.
Yeah, and good and bad too. What they feel, what they hope for, and all that. It'll be just one person. I mean, I treat these as individuals at the same time, not symbolically representing the whole worker, but just an individual doing the work at that moment.
Well, thank you so much, Wen-ti Tsen, for being with us. We'll be back next week with more from Wen-ti. He'll tell about his personal story of how he became an artist and drove from Paris to Pakistan, Lebanon, and ended up in Boston. So if you like this video, please click the like button below and subscribe to this channel. I'll be posting a new video every Thursday. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.